begin with the BJP spokesperson, Pradeep Bhandari. While the jury's out on, theatrics on the floor of the parliament, while drama on the floor of the parliament is one thing, but outside what is happening is entirely another issue where it comes down to the human cost of what is going on in the form of an SIR process. I am sure the video of the BLO from Muradabad crying before he took his own life will break your heart too, Pradeep Bhandari.
Well, Preeti, good evening to your viewers, and at the outset, let me tell you that an investigation has been ordered on that specific case. But what are the facts of the matter? The opposition today has become a rent-a-cause opposition, which always has an alibi or a issue in order to divert the attention from the mandate of the people, which is time and again telling the Indian opposition that it is engaging in disruptive, negative politics, which the Honorable Prime Minister called as the Muslim League Mawadi Congress. Just few months back, the opposition was claiming about vote chori. Allow me to make my opening submissions by two observations of the Supreme Court, one of which is quoted by the India Today. Quote, can foreigners with Aadhaar card be allowed to vote? The Supreme Court asks on the SIR. Quote, no voter came forward to challenge exclusion despite apprehensions of mass deletions after Bihar SIR. So the claim of the Indian opposition, in particular Rahul Gandhi, was 60 lakh voters have been deleted, but not a single voter has come. Now please note what is the constitutional process under 324. It's the Election Commission which is looking after the process, and the Supreme Court is supervising the process. Yes, I do agree that certain deaths of BLO is definitely a matter of concern, because let me tell you what has happened in the last 1 week. Trinamool Congress BLA has threatened the BLO in that if you remove any Bangladeshi leader named Lovely Khatun, you will be threatened to life. You have Trinamool Congress MLA Shyamlal Yadav, who is publicly threatened to break the hands of the BLO. You have TMC leader Jamirul Islam Mullah, who is threatened to kill BLO Deepak Mehto. I believe you have also seen that video, and India Today has reported it, how we all were shattered seeing the BLO being openly threatened by the Trinamool Congress. We've seen how TMC leader Mohammad Kasimuddin has beaten up BLO Nivedita Mandal's husband Kamal and threatened to kill him. Now, on the intention of the government, this is what Mr. Kiran Rijiju has said in the floor of the House at 4:32, that we are even willing to discuss the SIR. But nothing gives the opposition the argument to disrupt the parliament, where each and every issue is willing to be discussed. The opposition is disrupting it because it does not have facts on its hand.
All right, great. We're having a problem with our timer this evening, so I would really urge all our panelists to take care of the time that they speak for, and, allow each of your panelists to speak.
I could not hear your timer, so I thought that
I am glad, sir, but you have ended it. Though I do keep my own watch, on a timer, but you have respected the time frame of what you were given. I would hope your co-panelists will do the same. I want to bring in Salman Soz into this conversation. Though, Pradeep Bhandari, the fact is, you have every right to go after the opposition on the charge of vote chori or what the opposition says. But to treat 33 lives right now, and that is what we are counting in terms of BLO suicides on ground. That's not small, sir. And that needs to be addressed. I'll come back to you, and I want to bring in Salman Soz into this conversation. Salman Soz, are we staring at another session which is going to be a complete washout? If day one is to go by, that is exactly what's on the cards. Because if the government says that the Treasury benches say that they will allow debate, they are willing to talk about SIR, should the opposition not cooperate this time?
Well, Preeti, I think the Prime Minister himself set the tone for this Parliament session by, first he said that the opposition does drama and they should be talking about delivery. But he actually was doing drama outside Parliament today. That is drama. If you really want to deliver a press conference outside Parliament, then I will see. If you really want to talk about delivery, you got to go inside Parliament and say the same things in front of the assembled parliamentarians. That is. Salman
Soz, there's a problem with your audio.
Yeah, so I was just saying that if he does these things inside Parliament, then I would say this is delivery. But we know he does a lot of drama. We saw the footage that you just showed of this. It's very sad. It's heartrending. Our report is that 41 election workers have died in 27 days for this exercise that a very arrogant election commission, which gives not an inch to the opposition, not an inch to our supporters. and basically runs this entire massive process, wants to do it in just a couple of months. The arrogance of the election commission flows from the arrogance of the government. Why? Because the government chooses the election commission members. We know that because this government circumvented what the Supreme Court had asked it to do. We want accountability. The people of India want accountability. We want accountability on air pollution in Delhi, for example. Not just Delhi, across the country. And what do? They manipulate data. By the way, in Delhi, they have a 4-engine sarkar. Okay. Chief Minister, LG, MCD, and of course the Prime Minister. But they have done nothing but hide data. On national security, we want debate.
Salman Soz, I'll circle back to you now. You're 1.5 minutes up, and then hopefully we'll get the timer for the second round, so everybody could get equal time. I thought you said 2
minutes. That's why I kept going.
Okay, no, because your co-panelist spoke for 1.5 minutes, so I'm giving you the same on my stopwatch, and I will cut across right now to...
But Preeti, because he doesn't have much to say, he only took 1.5 minutes out of 2.
Well, sir, I'm sure everyone has a lot to say, even if they don't have much to say. So let's, let it
Do not challenge me on that, Mr. Soz.
No, don't challenge each other. It's going really well till now. Everyone's respecting each other. It's a good way to go about things. All right, I want to bring in Rajat, Sethi and Ashutosh into this debate. Rajat, Sethi, the fact is there is zero trust deficit. When even the Prime Minister uses language like keep the theatrics outside, drama ke liye bahut aur jageh hai, not parliament. He is also cracking the whip. You can say that, look at what has happened in the past. The opposition can say, you've already set the tone.
See, you have to leave some politics to the politicians, Preeti ji. If all of these statements are wiped out from the political scene, it will become a very boring political theater. So let's leave that aside and focus on what is important. If the SIR has to be discussed, again, repeatedly over the past 10 years or so, we've seen, when Congress has been leading the opposition, they are the ones who know the rules and regulations much better than any other party. They are the grand old party of this country. There are rules and procedures that you have to follow, be it filing complaints against the election or tabling an issue like SIR in the parliament. My problem is that why does Congress not follow the rules? Question hour is not meant for SIR. There are separate rules which you can invoke to have that discussion and then ghero the government or the election commission, whatever you want to do. But if you want to, break all the rules just because you believe that you are some kind of a princeling or something like that, then, somebody is going to crack the whip and then you'll come out crying and weeping and creating tamasha on television channels. So that should be avoided. Act like a mature party, follow the rules and be more, resilient about how you take up issues. Take up issues, find people on the ground, try and make a whole, whole degree of seriousness around what is there. Don't piggyback onto the deaths that is happening, because all of these deaths happen due to many, many other factors also. You need to establish that. There will be FIRs, there will be investigation to clearly lay it out that why is a man or a BLO crumbling under the pressure? Are there any other factors which are adding to this whole pressure? And of course, when it comes to pressure, I am 100% of the opinion that the election commission should give more time. Even for the 5 states that are going into election, we should allow voter list preparation to go on till at least January end through the SIR process. Even if the Congress party or the opposition cries out that why is the list being created towards the very last day of the election, let that be the case. We should not put pressure on the BLOs. But also the Congress party and the others in the opposition should realize not to create this timing, related issues that they did in Bihar elections. They were the ones, why did you drag the process till October? Similar pressure should not be put on the election commission because it all passes down to the BLO.
No, and it is passing down to the BLO because, Rajat, you might say that it's a matter of investigation, but prima facie, 33 deaths, and out of it, which are at least 14 bona fide suicide notes. There clearly is a lot of pressure on the booth level officers, and it is translating into them breaking down, and we've seen enough visuals of that. And that doesn't compensate by the election commission releasing one happy video of BLOs dancing. That's just the mockery of it. But we'll come back to that. I want to bring in Ashutosh into this conversation with what's really happening in Parliament, Ashutosh, because what we are headed towards is, another washout, and day one has set the tone. what happened during the monsoon session, what happened during the budget session, it's exactly that. It's going to be abject waste of public money, your and my money. Many would say that Parliament is the best place to protest, but ultimately some business needs to get done. You know, like Salman Soz was saying, I would love to hear a debate on pollution where it's actually taken seriously by our leaders.
See, Preeti, this money debate, I never had given much importance to that because the parliament is a parliament, and whether we give the logic that we are paying so much money from people's pocket, and that's why there should be debate in the parliament. That's an absurd debate. I never subscribe to that kind of debate. The issue is that the Prime Minister has successfully controls his own party. The Prime Minister does whatever the party, the party does what the Prime Minister wants him to do. There's no difference of opinion in the party, and nobody dare differ with him. Now, he wants the similar kind of an opposition. That opposition should listen to him. Whatever he says should follow. And if opposition is trying to be defiant, then obviously there are issues, and that will be done. And it shows very clearly that in one day, 140 MPs were suspended. Never heard in Indian democracy till that date. So the issue today is a fundamental issue. That 28 or 32, or forget about 28, 32, when the 10 BLOs had committed suicide or died because of that. Should it not be immediately taken up in the parliament and discussed and debated that why this is happening? I haven't heard a single word from the BJP. Rather, there is insinuations that these BLOs are committing suicide for any other factor could be reason for that. In an earlier debate, somebody who is close to the government has even insinuated that there is a bigger conspiracy. That's why these BLOs are committing suicide. I think nothing could be more cruel, more heartless than this. BLOs are they belong to the lowest rung of the bureaucracy. They are poor people. And the picture and the video which we had, the whole nation has seen today, is a reality. But not a word. Why? Should it not be debated on the floor of the house immediately?
Right.